Hey loves, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. My name is Day, and if you love videos like this, please subscribe and join the lovely family. And if you have been here, thank you guys so much for coming back to see me. So today we are getting into a very important topic, and this topic is based on experience alone. And these are just 7 tips that are going to help with your starter lock journey, tips that I've accumulated this time around, tips that I remember from my first set of locks, just things that I feel like overall, if you do these things, you really can't go wrong. Locks are really simple anyway, but just remembering these tips are going to help you have a healthy lock journey and help you to enjoy yourself more during the process and not have to go through things that I went through when I did not follow these things. So if you are interested in hearing my 7 tips for healthy locks, for starter locks, please continue to watch and enjoy. All right, so my first tip actually goes into the very first video that I ever posted on YouTube, and that falls into moisturizing your locks. The reason why I posted that video was because I did get a lot of requests on people asking me what I did to moisturize my hair and you know, how often I should moisturize my hair. And me in general, I just felt like that was like one of the most important things that I took away the first time along. You have to moisturize your hair. Lockers, we don't do too much with our hair already. We just don't. But one thing that I feel like we cannot shy away from is moisturize. I knew a long time ago that I had to start moisturizing my hair often, more often probably than some other people, because I naturally had dry hair. I have dry skin. That's just how it is for me. Some people may not have to moisturize the hair as often, but you still have to moisturize your hair. So figure out and play with that and see what works for you. A lot of people use rose water. I love using rose water on my hair. It's a little expensive, but it works very well. But just making sure your hair maintains moisture so it can be full and just, you know, just full of life. You can see when someone's locks are very moisturized and look nice. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to always protect your locks. When you are not out, when you are in the house, when you are going to sleep, when you have on a hat and things like that for the winter, it is just very important to protect your locks. You can use a bonnet. A lot of people use silk bonnets. I use a silk scarf that I wear at night. Let me see if I can actually show you. This is my scarf right here, and this may not even be silk. This may be satin. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, this was given to me like years ago. I've had this literally all my life. Someone gifted it to my mom and my mom gave it to me. But this thing, like, if I'm going to sleep, I don't go to sleep without this. I try not to. If I am wrapping up my hair, putting like a head wrap on, I try to put like a little cotton, a little cap or something on my hair before I wrap it up. Just protecting it in general. Not putting things that are too like, I'm gonna get into a lock don'ts video, but just making sure you're covering your hair, especially at night. A lot of people ask that when they starting off their locks. They're like, should I wear a scarf to bed? Absolutely. Wrap your hair at night. Don't lay on, you know, covers or undercovers and pillows and things without putting a scarf on, because you will see that lint and locks, like, they go hand in hand. Like, lints love locks, so you got to make sure you're protecting your hair. Tip number 3 is also extremely important, and that would be to develop a wash routine that is specific to you and your type of hair. And I say that with experience, guys. I was one of those people who I stayed on YouTube all the time, and I would always see other people's routines, what they did with their hair, and I would try things out, and that's perfectly fine, trial and error, but you have to develop a routine that works for you. You cannot take on someone else's routine and expect the same results all the time, because our hair is so different. You cannot use sometimes the same products that you see other people using. When I first started my locks, I used to use that what is it called? The peppermint soap with the blue container. It's very popular in the lock community. I used to use that, and I loved it for a long time. It really smelled nice, but it was very drying. It stripped my hair, which was great for some people because they needed that buildup and the oils removed. But for me, my hair was dry. I did not need something that stripped my hair. So I had to develop and look for products that worked for me. I had to find a shampoo that was a little bit more moisturizing, that wouldn't have had buildup to my hair and would clean it, but it wouldn't make it dry. Just being consistent and saying, well, my hair, I'm gonna wash it every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or so. Or if you know that your hair gets really oily, you have issues with dandruff, it just really depends. But figure out what works for you and stick with that. For me, I wash my hair probably every 2 weeks or so right now, as needed. Every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, I know I need to wash my hair. That's just what works for me. And I stick with that. Retwisting it on a specific routine so that you don't just look in the mirror and say, oh, I want to retwist today, and don't realize you just retwisted a week ago, So sticking with that. Right now, I personally retwist the same every 2 to 3 weeks. When my hair gets a little bit longer, I'll go further and develop my routine to maybe be once a month or once every 6 weeks. It just depends. But whatever you can figure out that works for your hair, when you find something, try to be consistent, because locks love consistency. I feel like they flourish when you're consistent with whatever your routine is. My next tip is to use natural products on your hair. Speaking from experience, the more natural the product, the better, because you know exactly what is in that product. When you get into all these mixtures and these Locs, creams and just these, these mixes, you really don't know what's in it. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped using gel as quickly as possible this time around, because you just really don't know what's in that stuff. You cannot tell. You know what's in coconut oil because it's 100% coconut oil, Jamaican black castor oil, olive oil, whatever type of oils you like to use, you know what's in it. But these mixes and things like that, you just really are not aware of what's going in your hair. So just be careful with that. Go simple. Our hair is very simple. So just use something simple, 100% this, 100% that. And I think that your hair will thank you for it. My hair has thanked me for it both times around. So yeah, natural products. My next tip is something that I am still working on, and that is just the idea of what you put into your body is what is going to come out of your body. So please, if you can, drink water. I am one of those people who are blessed because I really do enjoy drinking water. I know there are some people out there who hate water. You just like juice, you like sodas and things like that. And your body really thanks you when you put in things that are healthy. One of my goals this year is to eat healthier, to feed my family healthier foods. And I just think naturally, the same way that your skin reacts when you drink water all the time, your hair is gonna react in the same way. Get yourself a water bottle if you don't have one. This is mine. I like it because it's cute, so it encourages me to drink water just because it's so cute. But I got this from Target. And do whatever you have to do, but drink more water, sis. Like, we just have to go there at this point. You need water. Your body needs water for multiple things, but especially your hair. My next tip is to let your hair breathe and form itself. You have to relax when starting this journey. You have to think about, how long do you want your locks for? Ask yourself that question. How long do you want to have locks? Do you want to have locks for 5 years? Do you want to have locks for 10 years? Do you want to have locks for the rest of your life? And when you think about that and you process that information, these little, 3, 4 months, 6 months, up to a year, whatever time period, it really is not that serious in the grand scheme of things. So we kind of have to stop putting so much pressure on what exactly our hair looks like. Oh, this lock is fuzzy, or the bottom of this lock, it doesn't really look nice. And I'm guilty of that. You guys know that. I'm focusing on, oh, this lock the bottom of it doesn't look like it's really cultivating the way I want to. In 3 or 4 years, are you gonna remember that? Probably not. So leave your hair alone and just let it relax and just enjoy sitting back and watching your hair form. I've had to learn that this time around. I used to, and I think it was my 3-month or 4-month lock video, I was just so concerned about how the bottom of my hair was like stringy. You can still see it on some of them. It's like stringy some. And then I had to take a second and think like, girl, like in 6 years, obviously the bottom of your hair is not gonna look like that. And if it does, you can just cut it. Like, just leave it alone, let your hair breathe, and just enjoy the process that it's going through. And this is kind of cliche now, but really embrace the journey. Embrace like just letting your hair relax and just being a lock girl or lock man or whatever. Just let it be. Let your hair be. And you'll wake up one day and realize like, wow, my hair is really flourishing. I think that's been happening to me a lot lately. Like, wow, like I'm gonna just let it do what it does, and You know, it's gonna flourish. My last tip for starter locks. Oh my goodness. This is a thing for me, guys. This is a thing for me. There are a lot of lockers out there, okay? But there is no one with your specific set of locks with your journey. I remember when I first started my lock journey, there wasn't that much out there on social media about locks. It was very small. It was a very small community. And of course, there were some people who I can compare myself to, but not as many as there are now. And it's so hard to look at your hair and not compare it to other people's, or to envy or desire to have a certain look. And it's okay to gain inspiration, but you have to be 100% aware of the fact that your hair is not going to look like anyone else's at all. There's beauty in that. You have to accept that fact. Sometimes my thing personally was I really wanted really thick, full locks. I really wanted like full, fluffy, just big hair, and I can achieve that to some extent. However, at the end of the day, my hair takes on a specific look and is characterized a specific way, and that's my hair. It is what it is, you know. It's not a negative thing, it's a beautiful thing, and I have to learn to look at my hair and not compare it to everyone else's. I would encourage you all to do that too. Even looking at my hair, I know some of my subscribers compare their locks to my locks. Your locks are gonna look like how your locks look, sis, and they're beautiful, and it is what it is. You know, learn to like work with it and to just enjoy having gone through that process, especially once your hair is locked. Like, think about how long you worked to get to that point. Enjoy your hair and stop comparing it to sis over here who has had her locks since she was 3 years old and her hair is down to the floor. Like, it's okay. You just started your lock journey. It's okay. Be overwhelmed with how much your hair has taken you through in the journey, and enjoy that process. And that's what I'm doing for myself now. So those are my tips. I hope that was 7. I don't know, I felt like I had a lot to get off my chest, helping out my new lockers and my experiences. So please let me know your thoughts below. If you agree with any of these tips, or you have some additional tips that we can share within our community. Thank you guys so much for coming back and supporting me, supporting my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.